Chapter 5, Mask Up. This is our second rule or a second big class of strategies for mitigating against COVID risk. All right, so step one was keep exposed and sick people at home as best as possible. Step two, universal use of high quality, well-fitting masks. Okay, so first, what do I mean by quality? Let's start with low quality, face shields, gaiters, procedure and surgical masks, cloth masks. With face shields, procedure and surgical masks, exhaled air just follows the path of least resistance. It flows through gaps along the cheeks, around the nose, or under the chin, then it lingers in the air and can infect people. Cloth masks often fit better at the cheeks, but have less filtration. None of these are great options for COVID because COVID is airborne and spreads so easily through these types of masks. Next, moderate quality. Any ear loop mask marketed as a KN95, KF94, or FFP2 can be moderate quality. They can work well, but too often they can have gaps by the cheeks, nose, or chin too. Many are fakes, including many on Amazon, and that the level of filtration is rather poor. It's not living up to the standards it's supposed to. So buy directly from the manufacturer if you're going to use one of those options. And, often for kids, especially, those are among some of the only options available. N95 masks or respirators and similar headband style masks that go all the way around the head are the best quality. If you choose an appropriate size, they fit extremely well and they have excellent filters. Although called N95 because they must filter 95% of virus-sized particles, if worn correctly, it's often 98, 99% or higher. Although these are considered disposable, you can use them repeatedly as long as they're not dirty or damp or the headbands aren't getting stretched out from using 10 or 20 times or the headbands haven't broken off. That cuts down a lot on the cost, which our research has shown is one of the most prohibitive factors of people using N95 during surges and if they're high risk. Finally, there are even higher level masks, such as elastomeric masks or PAPR, powered air purifying respirators. I've tried many of these, and often I use the one on the bottom right, which is called a flow mask, FLO, flow mask, especially in higher risk settings. If I'll be talking a lot and the ventilation in the room is good, usually I just use a disposable N95 because I find my speech is a little clearer, but these are great options that work well for people too. In addition to a strong filter, a mask also needs to fit the particular individual's face very well. Due to fluid dynamics, liquids and gases will follow the path of least resistance. If the choice is traveling through a high quality filter or a big cheek gap, air will flow through the big cheek gap. So an N95 is well and good, but if I put my giant N95 on a 4-year-old, that's not going to be too much help for them. They'll just breathe in and out around it. Good fit buys you more time, especially in poorly ventilated spaces where you'll be for a long time and when there could be multiple people infectious, like during surges. On the left, you'll see the 4 most common N95 masks I recommend to adults in the US. Most people can start with the 3M Aura. They come in a few different versions with different numbers. The ones with white straps have the strongest straps, good for reusing, but the blue strap ones are good too and often way less expensive. The straps just aren't quite as strong, so not quite as good for reuse. The Aura is often about $1.20, but can often be way less if there's a big deal on them. It fits about 80 to 90% of adults very well, and it's very easy to find these online or even at places like Home Depot. If you need bigger, go with the 3M V-Flex. That's the one that I often wear. And a benefit of these is they can be really cheap, often 20 to 90 cents a piece. If you need smaller, try the Vitacore Can 99 or 3M V-Flex Small. where the model number ends with an S. Vitacore's may be about $1.40 or so. The V-Flex Small is super cheap, often 20 to 90 cents. And again, a lot of people will use these masks 5 or so times, which really helps with that cost issue. If you follow that advice, you're usually good. However, you can also try to do a do-it-yourself or DIY fit test. This will help you compare different versions of masks and also make your best fitting mask fit you the best. You buy a nebulizer and some 3M Bitrix FT32 solution, put the solution in the nebulizer, spray in the vicinity when masked, breathe through your mouth. If you taste bitter, that's the aerosolized solution sneaking in through your mask gap. This helps you see which masks work best, and you can also play around with your mask to make sure you're wearing them as good as possible, that you're not having gaps underneath the chin if it's a little too big or too small, or that you're not having gaps around the nose. That's oversimplified, but you can look into the links in the PowerPoint notes or just Twitter search for DIY fit test, and you'll find a lot of helpful information.